Underwater, everybody is equal. I love that. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, if you're a plumber, if you're rich, if you're poor. It's a very humbling place. You have to be aware of what's around you. You have to respect everything around you. And that's also how I like to do my business too. It's important to be fearless. It's important to go for what you want. It's about still becoming a good person and respecting things around you at the same time as being aggressive enough and fierce enough so you can accomplish what you want to do. My name is Valentine Thomas, and I am a professional spearfisherwoman. It was definitely an unusual change. So I was a lawyer in Canada, and then I moved to London. I worked in finance for a few years, for about 6 years. I picked up spearfishing when I was in London, and I started traveling more, but traveling to remote places. So all of a sudden, I was not going to Ibiza or Mykonos anymore. I was going hunting my own food in Africa. And it gave me just such a different perspective on life. And I realized, what was this life when I'm living, when I'm working my butt off just to buy new stuff, and then I'm gonna get promoted to get a bigger apartment? It's not what life should be about. And about 3.5 years ago, I decided to quit everything. I grabbed my dogs and I sold everything I had, and I just moved to Florida. And it's been a particular journey since then, to say the least. Spearfishing was life-changing for me because I was living in London. I didn't give a second thought about anything that I was buying. I was like, okay, this looks good, this looks good, this looks fresh, it's cheap, good enough for me, I'm just gonna take it. When I started spearfishing, I put myself in the ocean. I put myself in a food chain. And then I realized we're not on top of the food chain. We're right in the middle of it. And if we don't take care of each other, then this is not gonna work out for anybody. We are, as human, we're part of an ecosystem. Everybody plays a role. We play a role. And our role is not to dominate, it's to live in that ecosystem and respect it. And right now we're not doing that, and we're creating damages that are irreversible. We get a lot of backlash spearfishing because we are actually doing the act of taking a life. Spearfishing is the most sustainable and humane way of consuming fish and seafood. When you spearfish, you don't use tanks. So you take one breath, one dive, one fish. When you're in the water, you literally pick the fish you're gonna have for dinner, and you pick a fish that is not in reproduction season. You pick a fish that is big enough. You pick a fish that is good. There's no bycatch. There's no incidental catches around it. Of course, not everybody has the opportunity to go spearfish for their own food. So this is why this movement is about creating a community. You are the one that can make the change. And when you go at the store and you pick a fish, just think about what you're buying. There's a lot of organizations that can help you. Greenpeace is one of them, by example, where you can have resources online that tells you which fish to prefer, which fish to avoid. And it's all of that. Just take the time to inform yourself on what's good, what's not, and what difference you can make in your household. We can change the world, we can make a difference, and we can save our oceans. All you have to do is make better decisions on a daily basis. I knew I was going to build a business, but I'm a spearfisherwoman. That doesn't exist as a career. Nobody is a professional spearfisherwoman. And so I was basically making something up. I was making my own path. And it was scary, yes, but even though the worst nights where I had no money and no food and no place to sleep, where I had to sleep in my car because I was that broke, I was still waking up being, I'm so happy right now. I'm next to the sea. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to tell anybody where I am. This is just me, myself, and I'm working on me. I'm working on my business. I'm working on my life. I'm working on the person I am. I'm working on all of that. And it's even in the toughest moment, I never regretted it. I've been free, and it's what it is to be free these days. I had no bills. Well, of course, no kids, no jobs, and I was just, the work I was putting in was for me. It was for me personally, and it was for me business-wise and professionally. So it's been a great journey. I learned a lot of stuff about myself, good things, bad things, but Entrepreneurship is an introspection. It's you learn really deep stuff about the person you really are, and you don't always like it, but it's a good opportunity to discover yourself and becoming better every day. When it comes to balancing my work and personal life, sometimes it's kind of hard because I'm so passionate with what I do that I'm always on my phone working on emails and looking for new opportunities. So it's just sometimes it's a little hard to say, okay, now that's enough. Put your phone down and just take the time to relax. I just picked up the gym. I just started to eat better. So it's trying to take care of myself. It's very important also when it comes to work. I've always been the girl with two phones. I always had two different phones, one personal phone and one work phone. It's emails, it's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's Skype. There's so many ways to communicate with people and how people communicate with you. So it's sometimes really hard to keep up. I have 6 different email accounts. So when it comes to work, I like everything to be separate and organized. And because I'm starting a business and I can't really afford employing people yet, I have to do everything myself. I am a secretary, I am an accountant, I am a business development manager, I'm everything. This is the only part that I miss about having a job and having a boss. Now I have to be my own mommy. I have to make sure that everything is organized, I have to make sure that I don't forget about phone calls, which happens sometimes, and I have to deal with my own calendar. Sometimes it's not easy because I have a lot of events, a lot of conferences, a lot of conference calls, and it's juggling with all of that. It's pretty overwhelming. Having the right tools to organize all of that is for me, it's crucial. This is what I really like about the BlackBerry. It is very business oriented. It's made for meetings, it's made for phone calls, it's made for efficient calendar. I just cannot live without it. I need everything to be organized for me, and it's my BlackBerry's thinking for me. Entrepreneurship tastes like freedom. It's about working for yourself. It's about doing whatever you want, whenever you want it. And when you work hard, you work for you. You work for your own future. And this is what I love about it. It is easy. No, it is a bumpy road. You're gonna face a lot of issues. You're gonna face a lot of adversity, but it is so worth it. You feel so fantastic. Every little victory feels like the world is opening to me. In 2018, 19. What year are we? 19.
5.
My ass off, can I say that? When I'm wearing my butt off just to buy new stuff, and then